There is one driver brand more than any other that in my opinion is underrated. Now this brand has released some pretty good models over the last few years. They've notched up plenty of tour wins, even an open championship. We know that they produce really great forged irons, but for some reason you don't see many golfers using their drivers, and that brand is Srixon. And today I have their all new ZX7 and ZX5 models. Now, in this video, I'm going to detail the tech that has gone into these new designs, give you a bit more information on what they have to offer, give you a good idea of why I feel they are underrated, why I think Srixon, for some reason, they just don't seem to have the same kind of prestige as a Titleist, a TaylorMade, Callaway, something like that. So I'm going to let you know how I got on the golf course. I'm going to show you some numbers to compare the two models, and I'm also going to compare the ZX7 and the ZX5 with my current Titleist TSI3, just to give you a good idea of how it stacks up against one of the big guns. First off though, before I run into all that, if you're new to our YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button below, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Now Srixon would probably admit to the fact that the drivers weren't quite at the races 4, 5, 6 years ago, but 2 years ago when they launched the Z785 driver, they took a huge step in the right direction. It saw plenty of tour usage with the likes of Graham McDowell, Ryan Fox and Shane Lowry winning the Open with it in the bag. It was able to compete with pretty much anything out there. And now with the new ZX lineup, Srixon are saying you can expect the same brilliant performance, being able to compete with any other driver on the market, but the focus for these drivers is more speed. That is what the R&D team has placed their focus on. Now the big tech talking point and the driving force behind the great ball speed on offer with these drivers is new rebound frame technology. This technology is basically varying areas of stiff and slightly less stiff sections around the crown and the sole. It's just going to allow the face to, as it says, rebound more at impact, impart more ball speed once you catch out the middle, but also retain ball speed on your mishits across the face. Also, we have a 15% larger carbon fibre crown. Taking this very lightweight material takes weight away from where we don't want it up on top, and the engineers can then place it to where we want, low and deep in the club head to give you high launch, low spin, the recipe for maximum distance. Now we have two models, the ZX5 and the ZX7, and if you were to pick them up off the shelf, there's not a great deal of difference in between them. Down at address, the ZX5 has a slightly larger footprint, a slightly more modern, almost triangular shape out towards the back, but as you'll see, there's a slight difference in the weights we have here. So the ZX5, it has a stationary back weight, and that just means it's going to provide maximum MOI, be the most forgiving, highest launching, easy to hit of the two options. Then with the ZX7 we have these interchangeable weights, and that's just going to allow you to dial in your ball flight a wee bit more, and also your spin rates, your launch conditions. So if you want to set up for a fade, you can, slightly lower ball flight, slightly higher, set up for a draw. You can do that with these interchangeable weights, and also both have an adjustable hosel, so good scope there for adjustability. So in short, the high launching, easy to hit forgiving option. The ZX7, slightly smaller profile, going to be a little bit flatter in terms of trajectory, and yeah, a wee bit more of a player shape to it. Okay, we'll take a look now at the numbers I got earlier on today with my SkyTrack launch monitor while testing with Pro V1 golf balls. And you can see that both the ZX5 and the ZX7 are delivering good ball speed, both at the 159 mark. So getting up towards 160, that's what I want to see from a driver. Anything over 160 I consider really fast. The launch angles are nice and high, no great surprise. The ZX5, it's the higher launching, the higher spinning model of the two. So I'm getting more out of the ZX7 because it's giving me the slightly flatter, less spinny trajectory. And the distance with that ZX7, yeah, really solid. Average carry of 269 for an average total of 296. Nothing really to complain about there. Now it's worth pointing out that these drivers have not been custom fitted for me. So when we compare with my current Titleist TSI3, you will see that the numbers jump up quite a bit. So we're now at 162 average ball speed. The launch angles come down slightly. The spin is significantly low. That's the big thing. And then the carry and the average distance has gone up by quite a few yards. So I think that shows the benefits of getting custom fitted. I know this thing's going to deliver absolutely maximum performance for me, and yeah, it's just coming across. But if I was to go and get custom fitted for either one of these drivers, I know I'd probably be able to squeeze an extra mile or 2 mile an hour of ball speed out of them. I would get that spin rate way down, maybe get the launch angle down just a touch as well, and it would be competing with the TSI. I'm sure it wouldn't be too far off. And that is one of the big reasons why I think Srixon drivers are underrated, because they're able to compete with pretty much anything out there. And with this new lineup, the focus on ball speed, yeah, that's really coming across. The fact that I'm getting 159 ball speed from drivers that aren't custom fitted to me means that I'm pretty impressed so far with what these drivers have to offer. Now on to the big test out on the golf course, and I've been using these drivers quite a bit over the last few weeks, so I've got a good idea of what they have to offer. The ZX5 is just a high launching, easy to hit distance machine. Its high MOI design, the fact that it's got a slightly larger footprint, slightly more drawn back shape, just will inspire you with confidence to stand up on that tee and just give it a belt. Try and hit it as hard as you can, get down the middle of the fairway. Really forgiving, high launching, just a very user-friendly driver. The ZX7, however, it's the one for me. There's not a great deal of difference in the shaping down at address, but it's slightly more rounded, more classic look, just suits my eye. The flatter trajectory it offers, slightly lower spin. It was just giving me better performance. I like the fact that we've got a wee bit more in terms of adjustability, so I could move the weights about to get the ball flight I wanted. And yeah, it was just a really solid performer. It just did everything really well, nothing bad. Also, I think these are very smart looking drivers from Srixon. I like the red, white and black detailing on the bottom. At address, this carbon fibre ground, it just looks really clean, really sharp. Just, yeah, two very good looking drivers. The one area, however, where it really lets itself down is in the sound and feel. Down at impact, these drivers are pretty darn loud. You know, it's something that I'm not too keen on. And it was the only area where they really let themselves down was just in that sound and feel. But for some of you, that might be what you like. You might like a big audible, you know, sound and impact, something loud in your ear. But for me, it just wasn't to my liking. However, what both of them showed is that Srixon is underrated. You don't see many people playing Srixon drivers, but they perform just as well as anything else I've tested this year. They are very solid all-rounders. I think they look great. The price point's pretty good as well compared to other stuff out there. And yeah, there's really, apart from the sound and feel, and that's just a personal preference, there's nothing I can fault these drivers on, and that's why I feel that they are underrated and probably worth giving a shot. You know, having a go yourself, see what they can do for you, because they might end up being the right driver for you. So hopefully this video has given you a better idea of what the ZX5 and ZX7 have to offer. If you have any questions about them, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thank you very much for watching.